What up, everybody? Pyro, aka Joel, here with another video, and this one is my top 5 overall artists that I enjoy. And there's some new ones and some old ones here, and I'm gonna start with my childhood bands that I grew up loving, and I still really do enjoy, and I consistently go back to them. And then we'll move on, and this is all due to a Slayathon that I had on Twitch, where a certain goal was hit, where people wanted me to give my top 5 reactions to not my top 5 artists that I like and my top 5 dislikes artists. And so, yeah, this is what we're doing. My number 1 is Megadeth. Easy, really easy go-to for me. I fucking think that they've put out some of the best guitar work out of any of the thrash metal bands. While Dave's vocals aren't for everybody, I think that after a few listens, they do tend to grow on people rather quickly. Even people that I've met that are rather anti-thrash metal, I've warmed them up to a few of these tracks. Now, it's not for everybody, I get that. And Dave's current views can be assholish, to say the least, right? Very hypocritical with his religion, and yeah, there's some problems there, but I feel like at least he tries sometimes, especially with how hard of an upbringing he gave Ken. But I personally don't know the guy, and I can't stick up for him. But the things that I have heard him say do come off as pretentious and rather dickish. So that being put to the side, I have always really enjoyed some of the thought-provoking imagery that Megadeth has provided in their lyrics. And I would say that they were one of the first bands that pointed out certain things with politics and like my philosophies that I've come to develop personally over the years. Like with Peace Sells, But Who's Buying was a teenage anthem for me, but I do think that there's been some really good lyrical quality stuff from Megadeth that I've enjoyed myself. Now, enough glazing them, and let's go to Silverstein. I absolutely adore Silverstein. Shane's vocals just are absolutely fantastic. The cleans are crystal clear. They can carry a punk tune. They can carry a pop punk tune. They can go metalcore. I fucking love that, dude. He has so much range. And then let's not just pretend like the rest of the band isn't doing fucking work. Like every album that comes out, they try something a little different. They adjust their sound slightly. They have always kept it a change up. Even if they weren't changing up their sounds, they fucked around with the size of their song. And they have like these really short songs that are out there. Then they did punk covers. I fucking love that. I love that. In fact, I would love to see them just put out a straight punk album. That would be interesting to me. But regardless, Silverstein, I think, has really consistently upheld their like moral standards as well for me. Like I find them to be good people from what I can judge, at least that I've seen online. And you don't ever hear anybody really saying fuck those guys, they've done these shitty things. So all in all, I really respect them. And I do really love their music, and I don't think that'll ever change. I stumbled upon them 2013, 14 maybe. It might have been 2015. Around 10 years I've been listening to Silverstein then. And it was right around the time that This Is How the Wind Shifts. It's the one with the buffaloes on it. Sorry, my memory is not very good, but yeah, it was a very solid album, and I've just been hooked since. And every album, like I'll get in the mood randomly for like their first album, and then I'm like, oh, I want to hear something a little more pop punk, and then you can just throw on the Drowning one. I can't think of it. Oh my God, what was that titled? We're gonna look it up right now, chat. Give me a sec. Silverstein. Apologies. So their discography is really really cool. And they have a new one coming out, Anti-Bloom. I actually forgot about that. But yeah, just all in all, man, their sound is really nice. And I feel like this was one of the first bands that really introduced me to a like Canada has a really, really, really thriving musical. Like, they don't get credit enough. Canada's like music culture is thriving, albeit from small bands, and that's perfect for me. Like, I love that. But they have a thriving culture musically, I feel like, over there, especially with this rock style of music. Now, like I was saying, A Beautiful Place to Drown is the one I was thinking, 2020 that dropped. Very much pop punk sound, and if I'm feeling that, I just go over there and jam to that. If I want something a little more rock based, like modern rock, Misery Made Me, like if I'm going like just metalcore, I want to Shipwreck in the Sand. There's some, it's just, there's so many different vibes that they can provide you with, and just so easy too. Just now some newer ones for me. I've fallen headfirst into punk music, and I have absolutely adored it. And as you can see, this is one of the next ones, Bad Religion. We get some shit because, listen, we've discovered them in the last 2 years heavily. I listened to them via Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarder for years, not realizing what I was listening to. Bad Religion has made a huge impact on, I would say, my current lifestyle as well. And not just them in general, the punk scene, but I've found so many good people through this scene. And they've really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I was very naive about before, and I really do appreciate that. And they just have a really nice sound. Those harmonies are great. Right now, they're doing live shows, and I've noticed they've been, bringing a lot of younger punk bands with them, trying to just kind of bring the new scene into the light. And I really, man, I like them a lot, and they have so many good albums as well. We're just starting to get into some new stuff by them. Newer, I should say, like the 2000s, but we hit them very heavily in the last 2 years, from like the 80s stuff to the early 90s stuff. And we've gotten a little burnout because of that. Just how much I've listened to in such a short amount of time, and their discography is huge. But damn, they are very consistent. Even the songs that I'm like, meh, they're okay, and then I come back to them like when I'm really feeling Bad Religion, and I enjoy the sound. So this one's definitely an easy pick for me. They've changed my lifestyle of music, just showed me a whole different world that I wasn't aware of, and I'm very appreciative because of that. And then following that, I would say The Plot and You. The Plot and You, they're somewhat local to me, and I just think that creatively they have put out such a great catalog of music. Whether you're looking for like really like almost deathcore to metalcore, if you're talking pop music, they put a great blend of that in there, and they put out some pretty solid like rock as well. Like, they are not afraid to experiment within their genre and bring in other genre elements that really pop, and I've always respected them for that. There's some albums that they have that are very, very personal, and that is what really won me over. And I've just been kind of following their career as they've gone on, and more and more they bloom into this band that stays true to themselves while showing they're not afraid of ingenuity and creativity within their scene. And it's something that metalcore lacks in a lot, and for times, and I think every genre falls into that, but metalcore does have a tendency to keep the same sound, and they are afraid to deviate from that sound. But Plot and You has shown that they're not afraid to do that, and I respect them for that a lot. Now, the fifth one, No Effects. No Effects is an easy go-to for me, and it's not because I've met Fat Mike. It's not because I was backstage with No Effects. Those are just things I get to gloat about. No, while they did show me a good time and whatnot, I think I had like their lyrics have really forced me as a person to look at things much like Bad Religion in ways that I hadn't seen previously, and maybe not agree with every time, but made me look at a bigger picture, right? And had fun while doing it. And I do, at heart, kind of find myself relating to their humor, even though I had no sort of rough upbringing like those boys had, right? My upbringing was much different, but their humor, I've always coped with dark humor myself, and at times this has really gotten me in trouble, especially as a younger adult. And they do it in such a way, they don't get me wrong, they have their misfires. Let's talk about the country concert, right? Fuck's sake. They have their misfires when it comes to humor, sure, and tasteless nonetheless, but it reminds me of a version of myself that I can chuckle at, and I find it very ironic the way they use this dark humor with how strong they believe in their beliefs. You know what I mean? It shows they have a fucking sense of humor. And I think we could all utilize some of that, right? We could take things a little more light, but at the same time, when they want to talk about a serious topic, they're not afraid to dive in and do the research on it and make you sometimes uncomfortably look at a situation from a different point of view. And it's good for you. It also opened my eyes to that, to like things that should have been obvious to me, but as a small town country boy, things were not obvious to me. But just like some of the hard lives people live out there on the streets, man. Like I thought I'm like, oh, you know, like I definitely was one of those ignorant fucking people at one point where like, you know, like you just discount city folks because they're city folks, right? And you're like, oh, they're bitching about whatever, right? And I definitely was that, but after like reading their bio and like their book, fuck's sake, man, like I didn't have to deal with a lot of what they dealt with, not even like an eighth, right? And I think it's good to see a perspective from that place and learn from it. And I feel like they do a very good job of doing that through their art form. And I really have come to respect them for that. Now, those are my 5. And I'm very, I feel like there probably could be a little bit more of a diverse catalog there because it's punk and metalcore pretty much. But that's what I like. I guess Metallica's Metallica, fuck's sake. I mean, there is no Metallica without Dave Mustaine. I said it. What? Peace out, guys.